set the scene really. As someone who's worked in sales for about a decade, I struggled to get where I wanted because I didn't know what that looked like. I knew I wanted more money, a house, a car, to go on nice holidays, but I didn't know what that was. That was until a day in 2017 when I went to buy a Tesco meal deal and my card was rejected. And many people will tell you that sales is all in your head, but it's not. Sales for me is about the practical elements, and you'll get a lot of amazing tips today, and the emotional element. And I firmly believe you need both of those things to be successful. I'm going to quickly run through how I would go from a standing start if I knew what I knew now, and really getting some momentum behind your earning potential. So I want to start off by saying that for me, motivation really is everything that underpins what we do in sales and in life. Whether you're running to lose weight, taking a cooking class to be a better cook, or meditating to keep a level head, there's a motivation on the other side of every action we take. It could be as simple as making a coffee. There's a reason why you're doing it. I think just saying to yourself, I want to earn 100 grand probably won't be enough for most people. There's a reason why you want to earn that money. If I was you on day one, that's where I would start. I needed the embarrassment of not affording a £3 meal deal to get me off my ass, but it didn't need to be that dramatic. I think once I got over that embarrassment, for me, it was sitting down and working out what I needed more money for. Obviously, being able to afford lunch is a quite a nice place to start. But being ambitious, I set my personal sight on a long-term goal, which was buying my first home. Now, as many of you will know, buying a home isn't just how much of a deposit can I save, it's the long-term ability to then afford it. So it isn't just how can I get a chunk of money to put into a house, it's how can I then afford the upkeep, the random cost, the council tax, and all the other elements. It isn't just getting to 100K, it's how you can then stay there from then on. That's why for me, setting that motivation early on is absolutely key. You know, are you feeling sorry for yourself because you didn't hit target? I thought you wanted a house and you missed out on a big deal and you're feeling a bit flat. I thought you wanted a house. And I think it's fine having practical steps behind all them. And like I said, you'll hear some incredible ideas during the course of this series. I think having that motivation kind of on day one is absolutely key. I'm very, very blessed to say that I got my first house in 2021, 4 years after that kind of wake up moment. But since then, I've set new goals and a new one and a new one. It doesn't need to be a huge lifelong investment like a house. You know, do you want to buy a Rolex? Use that to motivate you. Do you want to be able to take your parents to a nice restaurant or go on a nice holiday with your spouse? Use that to motivate you. As I said, just saying I want to have more must have a reason behind it. You're in sales to make money, most people here, and you want to make more money in order to buy something or do something. I think earning more pounds is difficult to stay motivated on unless that pound equals something you truly want. So that's my first bit of advice. Pick something you want and run towards it. I think once you've got that motivation, it's now about setting a goal and setting targets to kind of work towards. One thing I want to break apart are goals and targets. For me, goals are aspirations, motivations, and end results. It's the outcome you want to see at the end of a process. So it could be that you want to run a marathon or buy a new car. That goal is the end result of the ambition that you've got. It's a static goal and it shouldn't ever really change. You can, create a new goal and move it, but you can't change that physical goal. You can only succeed or fail at it. You don't change the goal, you set a target. And for me, targets are far, far more granular than an overall goal. Targets are numerical, the logical, the pragmatic, and devoid of all emotion. The best way I can kind of split those two pots out are goals are very emotional, kind of personally led. Targets are quite stoic and very, very practical and numerical. I live by a phrase I've heard banded around a lot, but I heard it first from a personal trainer on YouTube called James Smith. And he always coined the phrase of, you should never target yourself to lose £10. You should target yourself to lose £1 10 times. Essentially, don't set a target of earning £1 million over the next 5 years or even 100 grand this year. Set a target that makes sense in a much shorter period of time and break that down into easily digestible targets and pots. I never sat there at the start of this journey and said, my target is 100K. My goal was 100K. My target was how I went about hitting it. For me, I reverse engineered the numbers, and I'll walk you through a little bit of how I did that later. It's a very number heavy section, so apologies for a Wednesday afternoon. But with that 100 kind of K goal in mind, if we sensibly break that down, the easy method is to take 100K divided by 12, right? But there are a few things to consider. Lulls in sales happen. That period between Christmas when everyone's off, summer holidays, right now is quite a quiet time with people taking annual leave. So, and you've got 25 days a year of holiday, so call it 5 weeks. You've got around about 2 months of the year that you effectively lose due to things outside of your control. So out the gate, you've lost 2 months. Now, I'm not here to scare you, but you've now got 10 months left out of that kind of entire period where you need to sell. So that's your target, 10 grand a month. The goal hasn't changed. It's still 100K. Just how you get there has, and that's your target. My advice on that, once you've set a target on a monthly basis, if you exceed that target in a month, don't change the rest of the month's target. Keep them exactly the same. If you underachieve and miss your target, add that difference on. So if you miss out on your monthly target by £1,000, add that grand on to the remaining months in that time period that you've set. You've always got the ability then to overachieve, and you've also got the ability then to kind of make up any downfall. The next bit is how I would then take that goal, that 100K, that target of 10K, and reverse engineer it from there. So let's say, and again, this varies wildly in SaaS. Let's say your average deal value is 5K and your commission's 10%. Nice and easy, £500 every single deal you sign. For a 10 grand per month target, it means you need to hit 20 deals a month. Now, in an average month where we exclude holidays, that's about 20 working days. Well, 21 working days. So for argument's sake, let's say it's one deal every single day. That's where being super consistent really comes into play. And it's this reverse engineering that will make you kind of see what you need to do every single day and how you need to show up to kind of hit that overall number. Now, going a step further back, if you know your conversion rate is 20%, that means you need about 100 strong qualified leads every single month. Going a step back further, if you can go any further back, if you know your SDR conversion rate for cold outbound dialing is 5%, they need to reach out to 2,000 people to get you to your target. So reverse engineering isn't just looking at what you do in your work. It's a forensic look across the entire business. If you can support the team at the early starts of the life cycle, and get their conversion rate up to 10, 15%, there's more quality leads coming your way. If you've got a better quality lead coming your way, you should get a high conversion rate. You're converting more, you've got more kind of commission in there. I think for me, reverse engineering is critical to understanding those targets. Now, you've got a motivation, you've got a goal, you've done your targets, and you've reverse engineered what it looked like. My last bit of advice to kind of wrap up is to treat every day like a school day. Now, various leaders take credit for the following phrase, but I still love it as a phrase anyway. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. And the other one is, if you think you know everything, you know next to nothing. I consider myself pretty knowledgeable when it comes to psychology. I've got an A-level, years of reading, but there are experts out there who've probably forgotten more than I know about psychology, body language, tonality, and much more. You don't just have to learn from sales leaders. You don't just have to attend calls to learn more. Treat every day like a school day. It isn't just sitting there and reading books. You don't have to read 10 books a month, wake up at 5 a.m., run a sub 4 hour marathon. You just have to be open to always learning more. For me, I listen to podcasts that aren't even to do with sales directly. At the minute, I'm listening to a lot of Andrew Huberman, who's the neuroscientist. He goes into massive details on things that I don't profess to understand, but it isn't just the topics he covers that interest me. It's the fact that you are always learning something new. If you've got a big deal that you're trying to convert, make sure you're a student of that field. For example, if they're in the travel industry, I'd be going out of my way to read magazines, LinkedIn articles, check out YouTube, recent news. There's a wealth of information out there for salespeople now to learn more about individual fields. So no matter what it is, learn more about it. It doesn't only mean you know what you're talking about. It also gives you the confidence to talk about things on a sales call that aren't just the sale. I spend the first 5 to 10 minutes of a sales call chatting, and it's not just about the weather. I know a fair bit about most industries at this stage, but I know one of my weaknesses at the moment is engineering, manufacturing, international shipping, and things like that. I know if I ended up on a call right now with a prospect, I'd struggle to make a really compelling argument and conversation to solutionize their problems. That's why for me, I'd go out of my way to learn more, speak to people in the industry, do my research, and do more outside of just the sales cycle. So for me, to summarize, find that motivation and the reason why you want to earn more money. Set the goal and link it to why you're motivated, and don't change that goal. Let your targets really guide that goal and get you to where you need to be. Use reverse engineering of your numbers so you can effectively plan towards that target. And then to finish off, let every day be a school day and always be open to learning more.